Good Saturday morning. I'm meteorologist Kara Thompson with a winter weather update. Hopefully, for this morning, you're all cozy inside, maybe enjoying a nice hot cup of coffee, a warm breakfast, just to get you through this cold morning. And you may have looked out your window and seen a little bit of snow. Now, I really want to stress, though, not everyone is going to see snow, and we're definitely not looking at equal amounts of snow across our area. Let's go ahead and take a quick look at some of our live cameras right now. Notice we're actually seeing some blue sky and sunshine towards Wintergreen in Nelson County, currently 9 degrees outside. Hot Springs seeing some of that sunshine filter through. I haven't seen too much in the way of snow activity towards the Hot Springs area, and that will likely be the case north of I-64. Right now, Hot Springs sitting at 6 degrees. Now, Buchanan and Roanoke, I have seen some flakes move by the screen. It does look like we've had a little bit of clearing towards the Buchanan area. Right now, 12 degrees outside. And for Roanoke, 14 degrees outside, and that's where I've been seeing more of that light snow falling for this morning. Now, speaking of Roanoke, as we take a quick look at some of our cameras right now, currently when it comes to our view from the Mill Mountain Zoo camera, we have the cloudy skies overhead. If you look very closely, you may see some fine little snowflakes passing through. The thing is, for today, the snow, it is going to be off and on. And overall, it is expected to be light. So while we aren't expecting feet of snowfall in our region, this is going to be a fluffy snow, and it still will stick to some surfaces as well. Now, our Thaxton Mountain camera, we're also noticing some of those snowy conditions outside. You can see those flakes flying by the camera lens, seeing more of that accumulation, especially at higher elevations for this morning. And that's where I think we could see more of those impacts as well. But let's go ahead and take a quick look at the radar. So we are definitely seeing that light snow, especially as we go along and then south of US 460. You can almost see the line here on the radar. More of that moderate snowfall as we start to head towards portions of more so Pittsylvania as well as Halifax counties. And I'm going to take a look at some of these snowfall reports that we have in our area. As we go into portions of southern Roanoke County, we're reporting anywhere from about 2.5 to even 4 inches of snowfall was a report that I saw closer to the Bet Mountain area. Elliston, though, less than 1/2 of an inch at this time. As we get closer to Lynchburg, this is near Forest, also less than an inch of snowfall. Now, closer to Martinsville, 3 inches of snow has been reported in a part of Martinsville. Once again, snowfall totals are definitely going to range, and we would love to see what you're seeing in your area, especially when it comes to those snowfall amounts. Now, I'm going to go closer to the Floyd-Patrick County line. This is about 3 miles north of Meadows of Dan, less than an inch of snowfall. Getting closer to Radford, this is Graysontown, Virginia, looking at less than an inch of snowfall, less than 1/2 of an inch. So really, it is varying across our area. Here's another snowfall report in Franklin County near Ferrum. That's 3 inches of snow. So really depends on where you live. Once again, not going to be a huge snowfall event for our region, but it is still going to cause those impacts. Now, I'm going to go to our next slide, which has to deal with our winter weather alerts. So for Central Virginia and much of the Roanoke Valley, we do have a winter weather advisory in effect. This will continue until Sunday. And then those pink counties, that's Southside Virginia and the New River Valley, that is a winter storm warning. Now, I really don't want to get too much into the amounts when it comes to these alerts, but the main thing I want to point out is with these alerts, it does indicate the chance for accumulating snowfall, and we are expecting that and seeing that in parts of our area. And with the accumulating snow, it is sticking to the roadways. I can personally say this morning, coming into the station, going through the neighborhood, those roads were snow covered, and even some secondary roads still had some snow on them as well. So as you get ready to head out and about, we are going to be keeping our eyes out for that. Hold on 1 second. There we go. I had the wrong camera angle out. We're still getting all this straight. Now, with that being said, you're going to be dealing with those snow-covered roads, especially as we head south of US 460. That's where we're expecting more of those higher snowfall intensities at times. So that will also create those slippery road conditions. Another thing we'll have to watch out for as we head later into the day is winds picking up, and that may actually create blowing snow, which can reduce visibility out there for drivers. So we will be keeping our eyes out for that as well. Now, let's go into a larger picture of what's going on. Satellite and radar, we have that coastal low that we've been tracking, and that has played a big part in the amount of snowfall that we'll see. That's lending us that moisture that will help to produce any type of precipitation. And because we have that cold air in place, we are really just looking at snow. We have cold air at the surface, we have cold air aloft as well. And with that, we are not expecting any ice, we're not expecting any freezing rain. It is just plain old fluffy snow that is falling from the sky. Now, the issues that we're dealing with for today when it comes to snow lovers, I know some people earlier this week, they were seeing some models that were being put out on the internet that were showing several inches of snow. The thing is the storm's track, that has changed since earlier this week. It is tracking more so toward the south and to the east. So with that, we're not going to be seeing as many impacts as, let's say, portions of North Carolina. We're also keeping our eyes out for drier air from the north, especially aloft. As we head later into the day, we're going to have more of this increasing northwesterly flow. Not only will that keep the cold air in place, but usually air from the northwest is also drier air. So that's going to chip away at that moisture that we're getting from that coastal low. And so that could decrease our snow amounts as well. But the general trend we are noticing when it comes to our snowfall totals, higher snowfall totals as we head south of US 460, so Southside Virginia, New River Valley, you will likely see more of those snowy impacts than, let's say, the Allegheny Highlands as we head towards Rockbridge, Allegheny, as well as Bath and Highland counties. And we've definitely been noticing that tight gradient too when it comes to our snowfall reports as well. Now, here's what we're looking at as far as the forecast is concerned. For much of central Virginia into the greater Roanoke area, continuing towards Lexington and Covington, we're looking at maybe a coating of snow up to 2 inches. We may have some isolated higher amounts. I think that's more likely as we go towards higher elevations. Now, as we start to go south of US 460, this is where we could see 2 to 4 inches of snow. I would say this is broad across Southside Virginia as well as the New River Valley. However, some places may see 4 to 7 inches of snow, a little bit more of a greater chance as we head west of I-77, as well as far southeastern portions of Charlotte and Halifax counties, just because of that low pressure system off the coast that's going to be a little bit closer to your region. Now let's go ahead and get into our future cast. So as far as the snow is concerned, it is going to be off and on throughout the day. I think it's going to be a bit more persistent as we head into the New River Valley and into Southside. Elsewhere though, it's going to come and go. Sometimes we're seeing more of those flakes flying, other times just those cloudy skies overhead. Now, snow coverage will start to decrease as we head into your Saturday night. This is around 9:15. Definitely starting to see a lot of that snow wrapping up for the New River Valley, Allegheny Highlands, seeing more of that activity into Southside Virginia. By the time we head into your Sunday morning, though, we are definitely looking drier. This is 6 a.m. on our Futurecast. So I know there's been some churches that are trying to decide what they should do for Sunday. The thing is, not expecting any snow to be falling from the sky, but it is going to be very cold outside and windy, and I think the main thing is making sure that people can get to where they need to go safely. We are seeing those snow-covered roads for this morning. Good news is plows should be able to easily clear the roads because this is a fluffy snow, but still, if we're talking about secondary roads, back roads, may take some time for those plows to get there, so keep that in mind when it comes to your plans for Sunday. We could still be dealing with some slick road conditions. But otherwise, Sunday looking mostly dry, and the mostly dry conditions should continue into your Monday as well. Now, the issue for Sunday, and this is really what we're turning our attention towards next, is really going to be those gusty winds. Starting for your Saturday night and into Sunday, wind gusts anywhere from 30 to 40 miles per hour are expected, and it wouldn't surprise me if we had some wind alerts issued as we head later into the day. With that, we may see some power outages due to the winds, not necessarily the snow we're seeing for today, but because of those winds increasing. And these winds are coming in from the northwest, and that's what's going to carry in that colder air that we are definitely going to feel for your Sunday. Now, to kind of put things into perspective, as we head into your Sunday morning, we are generally looking at low temperatures anywhere from the teens and into the single digits. But because of those winds blowing through, it's going to feel like it's sub-zero across southwest and central Virginia, especially into the Allegheny Highlands and New River Valley. We're talking about wind chill values as low as 10 to even 25 below zero. So very important if you are heading out Sunday morning, that you're bundling up and putting on plenty of layers. We will have some improvements by your Sunday afternoon. Notice with those blue bars, those are temperatures. We're going to be ranging anywhere from the upper teens and into the lower 30s. Wind chill values, though, will generally still be anywhere from the teens and into those 20s. But with that colder air on the way, we do have extreme cold warnings that will go into effect later this Saturday, continuing into Sunday, for counties that are along and west of the Blue Ridge. Central Virginia, south side, that's where we have a cold weather advisory, as wind chills as low as 5 below zero may occur. So let's talk about temperatures, though, because really we have been very cold in our area. Part of the reason that we really haven't seen a lot of that snow and ice melt here in southwest and central Virginia from last week's event, it's because we just haven't warmed up. Much of our area really has stayed below the freezing mark, and that has allowed for little melting. The sunshine has been the only thing that has kind of helped us out over the course of the past few days. Now, the good news is, as we head into your Monday and Tuesday, we will warm up a bit more. We're expecting more of those high temperatures, mainly into the 30s and even the 40s. And here's the thing, that is still cooler than average for this time of year, but we are warming up above the freezing mark for the afternoon hours next week. And that will allow for more of that snow and ice to really melt across our area. So hopefully that's going to help out with some of those slick conditions that we're dealing with even for the end of this week. But I do want to pull up the Climate Prediction Center's temperature outlook as we take a quick look, more so as we head towards the middle of February. This is for February 6th through the 10th. We are still expecting cooler than average conditions across much of the mid-Atlantic and into the northeastern United States. So for us in southwest and central Virginia, I think that means that we could have more bouts of Arctic air, more of those high temperatures into the 30s and 20s at times as we head towards the middle of February. At least for this week, we will see some 40s in our forecast, so that is a welcoming sight, even though it is still going to feel very cold outside. Now, let's talk about our 7-day forecast and what's to come. So today, main event is going to be those passing snow showers, mainly going to be light snowfall, maybe moderate at times as we head towards Southside Virginia, but for many, it's just going to be these fine little flakes that are passing by. By the time we head into your Sunday, I'm looking at increasing sunshine. Still going to be downright cold, though. We're only warming up into those teens and 20s, and those blustery winds will make it feel even colder outside. Your Monday, plentiful sunshine for Groundhog Day, and it is going to be slightly. I really want to stress slightly warmer for the start of the upcoming week, as highs will mainly be in the 30s, and we'll see more of those 30s and 40s as we head towards the middle of the week. Now, one thing I will say we're keeping our eyes out for, and there's still some uncertainty at this time, is your Wednesday. We're tracking a potential storm system that may work its way towards our region and throw some moisture in our direction. Because of the temperatures in place for your Wednesday morning, we could see a little bit of wintry precipitation. So I do have the chance for wintry mix for your Wednesday, but it's still a lot that we have to look at when it comes to the timing of this system and how close it gets to our region. So be prepared for what may happen on Wednesday. I don't think it's going to be a big event, though. We should start to dry off by your Thursday and Friday, still looking cold with more of those high temperatures in the 30s. So really not changing anytime soon when it comes to those conditions, and we want to make sure that you are staying warm out there. Now, we're going to continue to provide hourly updates throughout the day, see if there's any changes when it comes to the snowfall totals in our region. But the main thing for today, enjoy the fluffy snow if you can. Just make sure that you're bundling up. And the big thing is, please make sure to use caution on the roadways. Those roads are cold and the snow is sticking out there, so you want to make sure that you're taking your time on those roads. Give yourself plenty of time to get to where you need to go safely. We'll have our next update at around 10 o'clock, so we'll see you then. Stay warm out there.